get copies of my comic anyway.
There you go. And then go live on Instagram. Okay, so we're almost ready. And there's my rooster. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Comics for All. Today is Friday, February 27th, 2026. Thank you for joining us wherever you are in the world. My name is Jameson. I'm a comics librarian, your host here at Comics for All, where comics, creativity, and community all connect. As part of as part of our weekly Ink and Insight segment, we have Luis here. So Luis is a fantastic comics creator. I wanted to definitely chat with him. And I'm glad you're here today, Luis. Thank you for joining the show.
Thank you.
So the first question I like to ask everyone, since we're a reader-centric YouTube channel, being a comics librarian, what hooked you into comics as a reader?
Probably my dad buying my comics. And I don't know which came first, which is the X-Men 92 animated series or getting my comic. I don't know if they kind of at the same time or what. But right. I just remember I was probably 6, 7, maybe 8 years old. And I still have those comics in my garage right now. Those exact ones I had from back then, because they were in some thicker plastic. But it was X-Men comics for sure. I think the one I always remember is the X-Men 210, which is the cover with the blue background with 6 characters: Wolverine, Storm, Colossus, kind of facing each other, but looking towards the camera.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I remember that one.
Yep. So that's the one that got me into comics, and then read for a few years. Took a long break. Life happened, then got back into them in 2008, 9, when my wife, I said then girlfriend, but my wife bought me a subscription to X-Men Forever by Claremont. So Claremont, and I don't remember who was the artist at the time. But yeah, that series got it through the Marvel subscription and was getting comics ever since then.
Love that. Yeah. So another kind of generalized question, but a good one is, when did you realize for yourself that you wanted to be creative and be part of the comics community?
That was probably, I want to say 2018. No, well, actually, no. Let me step back a little further. In probably 2013, I wrote my first comic script, and then kind of didn't know what to do with it, and then kind of let that sit around for a while. I still have that idea. I have it another version of it written out because I lost the original version. But then 2018 hit, and that's when I started to do a little more, to go to comic conventions. I had never gone to any before that. And then the books that were inspiring me at that time were Fear Agent. I had gotten the library editions that had come out, because I did not read it when it was coming out, but that was the book that kind of I think I want to write comics, and then I moved forward and been trying ever since. And now it's 8 years ago now.
8 years ago? Wow, yeah. It seems to go quick, doesn't it?
Yeah. Yeah.
So another reader-centric question, kind of to start us off here in the beginning, is, especially you get to do a lot of stuff with Comic Book Yeti, which we'll dive into here in a few minutes, but what's something you've read recently-ish that stuck with you? Can be indie, major, or both if you get recommendations for both.
Well, the one book I read that kind of was something I would not normally pick out, but through Comic Book Yeti, I was like, okay, let me check that out, because it gives me an opportunity to check out stuff and read it, and then obviously sometimes interview or review stuff.
Yeah.
But it was a one called Love Languages. It was James Albon, Albon. He was a artist and writer on it.
Okay.
And the story of a woman who's British, but she was living in Paris for work, and then she met another woman who was I want to say Chinese, but I may be wrong. Chinese, living in Paris as well. So they're both two women out of their country, and they just happened to cross paths, and they became friends, and then they became romantic with each other. And it was just an interesting story, and I that's not something I would normally have picked out. Right. But it was a very good story. That one really stood out for me. As far as stuff that I my pull list or whatever, or Kickstarter comics, the one I just read today.
Okay.
Where'd it go? I have it right this One True Love by Mario
Ooh,
Candelaria and Jay Sheik. Oh, there it goes. I'm trying to make sure it's on screen correctly.
I like
It's
that size format.
yeah, Mario when he does his books, he definitely cares about not representation, like how the book is packaged and shipped and the experience you have getting it. It came in one of those plastic sleeves, but the whole plastic sleeve was money. This is a have it right here, and it also came with a plastic sack, like as if the money was in the sack.
Oh, neat.
So
Okay.
it's the story of these guys set. I'm not sure exactly the time frame. I would guess somewhere in maybe the 70s. Who after a heist trying to hide out and some stuff happens. I won't spoil it because it's his book and but it's very interesting. It's a pretty thick graphic novel. So it's
Yeah.
full story. You got the whole thing right there. So that was one I enjoyed. I just finished reading it. Um, that's where I'm at right now as far as reading
Yeah.
stuff.
I'm definitely gonna have to put that on my to be read list. It's huge, but I'm gonna put
Yeah.
it on there. So, for the viewers out there who haven't come across your work before, how do you introduce yourself as a creator, and what is Feathered Serpent Comics all about?
Okay. As far as right now, Feather Serpents is the have you seen Black Panther 2 and Namor?
Hmm.
Okay. His name in the movie is the character he's based off of is the his it's not Aztec, it's Mayan mythology, Kukulkan. I can't pronounce it myself, but the English translation of that is feathered serpent.
Okay.
Okay, and then my family on my dad's side is from the Yucatan Peninsula, which is where Namor is from in the movie. So that's kind of where got the name from. As far as the comics, my goal is to, whenever I do anything that is creator owned, to have some sort of Latin influence to it. And so far, that's what I've done. The two stories that I've done through my self-published work is which is This Immortal Coil and another small mini comic I did, Soy Paletero, which is a ice cream man. So yeah, so that's my focus on my comics. I am a writer mostly, but I can draw as well. I don't trust my art skills as much as I could, but right now I'm drawing a story with Sean Sunday with called Snuffles Before the Beginning.
Nice.
Still in the thumbnails. I got the last like maybe 5 pages to thumbnail out, and then I can start working pencils and so on. If everything works right, it'll be out this year.
Perfect.
But
That sounds really fun.
yeah. So yeah, it was me, a writer with focus on Latin stories or at least Latin characters. In depending on no particular like genre, just whatever works.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's kind of the benefit of having your own imprint and creator owned. You can make whatever you like.
Mm-hmm.
So, kind of diving now into your creative journey, how do you feel like your experiences growing up young and as an adult, reading, mentorship, how has that shaped your storytelling voice?
I'm not sure, like, because obviously your life influences everything that you think. So, like, okay, using This Immortal Coil, not Immortal Coil, Internal Coil. Sorry, that was the old name before I changed it. I wrote when I first thought of the idea, it was completely different. It was a battle royale in the underworld, and then it became a different story, which is what it is now. I wrote up the whole story, and after writing it, I found that without thinking about it, I made certain things match my own life, and it wasn't intended that way. I just wrote it, and that's how it came out. And I didn't realize until after I wrote the whole thing out that some of the things, like obviously in the story there's the world. There's a couple things that happen to the world. It becomes immortal, no babies, and then nobody can heal.
Right.
And that's kind of a parallel to like COVID, not exactly, but like a worldwide threat that kind of disrupts the world. And then there's a terrorist act that happens in the book there's a father and a daughter and a wife that are separated by death. And so, yeah, a lot of that happened. Some of that stuff has happened in my own life. Not my wife, but like my brother's wife passed away tragically in a terrorist act. So I didn't write it that way, but after reading it, I saw the parallels without it just came through while writing the story. So I think I don't intentionally do it, but it comes through when I do write stuff, whatever experience I have in my life. And I don't realize it until after it's done.
Right. That makes sense. Kind of like subconsciously almost.
Yeah, exactly that. Exactly.
So another kind of creator type question is, how does your approach differ when you're writing versus publishing or editing other creators' work, or even like comic book Yeti type work?
Is weird. I can't see my own, like, at least typos and grammatical errors, but I can, if I read somebody else's stuff, it pops out, like it just stands out. But myself, because I know what I'm trying to say, and when I see it on the work paper, it doesn't, or the screen, it just blurs out, like I don't see it. But that, for editing, I don't do a lot of editing on any of the on Comic Book Yeti's whoever writes the reviews. I'll look for typos, that sort of stuff, but I keep whatever they write is 99% the exact same as what they sent over for me to get posted onto the site. I may add some publisher information, where to buy, price, if it wasn't already added. That's about it. So I don't like edit too much of what they say, because I want it to be their voice of what they're writing. If you ever see, so anything, the reviews, at least that are currently, they all go through me, and then I can post to the site, but it's all their words. So you never will see my credit on any of those. Even though I am getting it on there on the site.
Well, it's good though that you get to kind of flex your comic muscles in different ways.
Yeah.
In a sense. So, when you mentioned here a couple minutes ago, we're going to delve into it now, this Eternal Coil. So, for viewers out there new to this particular title and series, how do you describe kind of what the story is about? You touched on it a little bit, but if you can kind of give us a little bit of a deeper dive.
Sure. It's a story of a Mexican family who were devastated by the death of the mother. As you see this is the cover for issue 1. The father is on the side with the black shirt up front, the daughter and her boyfriend, and then the mother is at the bottom, and then the villain of the series is in the back. It's Abraham, Elena, Marco. I won't say the name of the villain, and then because it kind of what you see there is not how you first see it. Well, it is how you first see him, but you don't know it, so I don't want to spoil it.
Got it.
And then the mother, she died in a bombing caused by the villain prior to the story starting. So it's a story of the effects it had on their family. They become not exactly estranged, but they have a really strained relationship. The father and the daughter. So the dad became obsessed with figuring out why everything happened after his wife died. The world becoming immortal, the babies no longer being born, and the people stopped healing. Nobody could not figure it out, but he suspects it has to do something with his wife and the guy in the background. So he kind of not abandons, but like he's not a good dad after that happens, because he becomes so obsessed. And so when you meet her, she's about 20 years old.
Okay.
The story. So about that, she's already adult, but so they have a tough relationship. And one of the opening first pages that you see her is that at the grave of the mother, and the dad doesn't show up, even though he's supposed to. It's the memorial, the yearly memorial they do. He doesn't show up because he's off investigating whatever his intuition of what happened. And so it causes the dad to go on a journey to the literal Aztec underworld to investigate with the help of his long lost dog who died many years before the series. And the daughter, she at that time loses both parents by the end of this first issue.
Wow.
I'm spoiling that. not exactly. She doesn't lose both of them exactly, but one is dead before the story. One is missing. So yeah, it's a. I couldn't when I'm trying to come up with a genre that it fits in. There's kind of it's like the Latin culture. There's because the Dia de los Muertos is a big focus of the story, as you see at the bottom. And there's some sci-fi in it. There's some apocalyptic stuff. There's a lot of cultural references, and so it's hard to place like one type of thing that it fits into. So yeah,
I really like that though. As a reader, that means there's multiple places for me to get pulled in.
Yeah.
And so for the viewers out there in the chat a few minutes ago, I did put in Luis's shop, so you can go check out the stuff that's on there. I also put it in the Instagram comments as well for the Instagram viewers. So as you mentioned, the series tackles, big themes like mortality, memory, and cosmic forces. Where did the concepts for the idea for this come from? How long of a time period was it between the idea in your head and actually a printed comic?
Okay. So the idea started May 2024. Okay. No, 23, actually. May 23. So it originally started because I got inspired by The Many Deaths of Layla Starr.
Yes.
Ram V and I want to say Felipe Andrade.
I believe you're correct.
Okay. Yes. I forget the name sometimes. So I read that book, and then I was thinking of a story. It kind of inspired me to the story. At first it was going to be a battle royale for the last soul on Earth. Mm-hmm. That's how it started. And then as I wrote it, I could not figure out an ending. I couldn't figure out an ending. But I had a bunch of ideas in there. And so I started working with Ian Mondrick. He's the editor on the book. If you see his name on the cover, Mondrick at the bottom. He asked me a few questions like, hey, what do you want to do? Blah, blah, blah. Like kind of trying to get the story out. He's not telling me what to do, but like he said, what are the things you want to answer? What are you trying to talk about? And so I thought about that, and then it revamped the whole story. Still kept some of the parts of it, and it became the story that it is now. So it started from Many Deaths of Layla Starr to a battle royale for the last soul on Earth. It was supposed to be more a multicultural battle royale, which all the different afterlives kind of battling out for the last soul that was going to be immortal, that would not be immortal. But then it became this. So in the original title was This Immortal Coil, and then it became This Eternal Coil because there's another comic by another creator called Immortal Coil, just Immortal Coil, not this. So I ended up changing it after so differentiate a little more.
That's fair and smart at the same time. So another kind of question now with this story is now into issue 2. Mm-hmm. What can you tell us? What has shifted or evolved between issues 1 and 2 in terms of tone or theme, and where does the story? Where is the story at by the end of issue 2? I should say.
End of issue 2. I don't. Can't say too much, but so the Abraham, the main character, right there in the center.
Love this cover.
This is Marcus Jimenez, the cover. The other cover was Julio Suarez, the series artist. But this is Marcus Jimenez. And this is probably my, whenever I go to sell it, I give them all a choice. This is the one, out of 10 times, 6 people will get this one.
That makes sense.
Yeah. At the end of the first issue, Abraham goes through a portal with his dog, Slater, to the underworld. And then, but his daughter, I forgot to say, he's a former private investigator. So that's why he's so obsessive about investigating what happened. So his daughter sees him go disappear, and she doesn't know where he went. So she also starts investigating his disappearance. Mm-hmm. So it causes, at the same time, while he went to the underworld, she's still in the real world investigating. So it's a parallel kind of story going on between him and his daughter. And so that's where we kind of start out issue 2. is them both starting their investigative journeys in different places, but looking for two different things. Whereas, yeah, I'll just leave it there.
And what's the status of issue 2?
Fully written. So far, 3 pages are inked. Fourth one should be within the week or maybe a week and a half.
Nice.
And then ideally, maybe by October, should be complete. That's at least that's hopefully the plan. October, I would imagine, and coincides with hopefully running a campaign in October.
Okay.
If everything goes smoothly for issue 2.
Excellent. We have to have you on for that for sure.
I'll be back, no problem.
So another a question that I always like to ask creators is, what's a moment in the book, either issue 1 or 2, that you're particularly proud of, either like a scene, a panel, or like the artist uplifted a particular scene from your original script even.
Okay. There's two parts of this, 2 answers for this.
Excellent.
For me, there's a I'm gonna seed something in all 4 issues, but it won't be apparent until you read the final issue. Mm-hmm. I've already said it, and there's already issue 1. Julio drew it in, part of what I was showing. Issue 2, I expand on a little more, and issue 3, it's the full part gets explained, and then the culmination of that in issue 4. But that's even just a side part of the story. But that's the one I'm hoping somebody picks up on it, but it might not. But the one part that would seal the deal, why I was like, okay, yeah, I picked the right guy to draw the comic, is this spread for, let's see if I can, there it goes. Yeah, this spread that Julio did for issue 2. My initial idea for this was the panels going across, like these 2 panels were going to be across the top of the page. And then when Julio came back with this, I was like, my jaw dropped, like just looking at it. So that for sure, like he took what I wrote and made it 100 times better. Like, so yeah. That is the 2 parts that I'm most proud of issue 1 and the series in general. Like, I know I already have that fully planned out. I know what the ending is, and just getting there. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, 100%.
Oh, there we go. I've muted myself. So now we're going to dive in a little bit into your work with the Comic Book Yeti and kind of the comic industry perspective of things. So you've written for Comic Book Yeti, and how has analyzing other creators' work influenced your own writing and kind of analyzing your own work?
I the Yeti logo. I'm not sure how it's influenced. It probably has. I get a lot more variety in what I read now.
Oh yeah,
because I can see I feel like the other reviewers are even better reviewers than I am. Like, all of them, their insights are much more in depth. So I learn from them as much as I like just reading their stuff of what they've read.
Oh yeah.
It's been fun working with the Comic Book Yeti because I've been doing it just over a year now. It just happened 2 weeks ago. And it was just odd how, not odd, but like it was random how I ended up working with Comic Book Yeti. I put out a if you call them, tweet on Blue Sky about, like, because they had a weekly article, like, what would I buy? It was by Doug Wood.
Yes,
but it was what would WOOD.
I like it.
And for whatever reason, he stopped doing that. And I decided to make a post like, hey, I'm going to continue what he did. Just post a tweet about what he did, what I buy for $5, $10, $20, whatever, like for a budget. And Byron noticed the tweet and said, hey, do you want to do this for Comic Book Yeti? So I started doing it from that point on. And then it evolved into from just doing the weekly picks to doing creator interviews, and then now doing reviews, creator interviews, and weekly picks. So it's been a lot of fun doing that.
Yeah, absolutely. And kind of being able and being involved and kind of set into the comic industry from your point of view, what trends do you see kind of shaping indie comics in 2026 for the rest of the year here?
I feel like, at least from a sales point of view, obviously DC for the last year has been really
crushing it.
Yeah, beyond crushing it. Like, it's their complete domination of all the sales charts. But beyond the big two, I think there is going to be I feel like this coming year, even if it may not look like it right now, it's going to be pretty big for indie comics, in at least the ones being from Image or Mad Cave or that they're going to get more attention. It might be, though, that there might be less opportunity overall, but I think there's going to be a big standouts from indie comics in general, like beyond just the big two. Like, they're going to stand out, even though if they may not hit the top 25 in sales, but they're going to be big sales for indie comics overall. That's what I feel like. There's so many good things coming out. Like the one that I just did really well is Dork, D''ORC.
Yeah, it's like a third printing now or something.
Something like that, yeah. And then the other one, White Sky. I remember looking at the solicit for that. It caught my eye. I wasn't sure if I liked it or not. I haven't read it yet, but like just from the solicit, it looked interesting. And then all of a sudden, it doesn't sell out too. It goes into second printing. So I feel like there's going to be stuff that's going to pop out that maybe not from the names you may know, like off the top of your head, but stuff is going to do well for indies overall. At least that's my feeling.
That's a great point of view, actually. So getting to work with Comic Book Yeti, you get to see a lot of different creators' work and names. So if you can, who's one or two upcoming creators that people should have their eyes on and kind of under the radar?
That's a good question.
It is. A tough one too.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. Like, I like what I've seen from as far as an indie superhero is the Summit Comics.
Oh yeah.
They seem like to be working well and coordinating really well together as a group, because there's, I think, like 20 something people involved. And at least from the outside, it doesn't feel like there's any egos involved. Like they all just want to make comics and do well for each other. So that looks good for all, and they have a really good plan that seems to be going well. They just finished their Kickstarter a couple of days ago, but they already have 3 more in the universe plan. So I'm not gonna say like one specific creator, but like them and the group in general seems there's a lot of people involved. So they're using all their skills together to be successful.
That's right.
Yeah.
And shout out, because I've actually had 2 separate interviews with creators from Summit Comics. So if you want to go back and check out some of our videos with them on Comics for All. And then also I put the Comic Book Yeti website in the chat for everybody. So make sure to check out that website. It's a fantastic site. The next part of our interview, we get to talk about some of your collaborations. So the first one we're going to talk about is your Chulu Invades Oz, which is really cool. I'll put the Kickstarter in the link here in just a minute. To me, this is actually a really fun mashup. Chulu meets Oz. Kind of what drew you to that project?
Well, the publisher behind that, Orange Cone, which is I'm going blank on his name right now.
Travis Gibb.
Yes, Travis Gibb. Yes. He had done this one, I think, like 5-6 years ago, the first volume of this, and then now he started to do probably like 7 months ago or so. He decided like he's going to do it. I don't know if that's the first time I've heard about it. 7 months ago, he decided to do a second version of it, and he said, "Hey, does anybody want to take on one of these specific characters?" There was a group of 5 of them, and I was like, "Oh, I'm interested. In one of these two, it was the Rabbit of Bunnybury, Rabbits or
Okay.
King of Bunnybury, and a couple other ones. And he said, okay, he DM'd me, said, hey, send me a paragraph of a story. Like, what would you be interested in doing? So I sent it. He read it. He's like, yeah, give me a full script. Can you get it to me by next Friday? So it took me
Wow.
yeah, and so I wrote. It was like 4 pages, so it's not crazy long.
Still.
Um, so after, because it for me, I work best as if I write it out in a story format first, like short story format, and then break it down from the short story. Yeah, see, there's the second edition one.
Yes.
So the only real restrictions he had as far as were fitted into the existing timeline that was from the first one. So kind of don't overlap with somebody else's stuff or
Right.
don't conflict. So I mean, obviously that's where if you're working for any publisher, you're gonna, and especially if you're working to an existing series, yeah, that's gonna be the rules. Like don't conflict as much as possible. And so mine, it's Cthulhu, and mine actually takes place over a pretty long time period. I like so it's the King of Bunnybury and the bunnies in their little they're not a hole, but like they live in a mountain type thing. I'm not sure if you're familiar with the Oz, all the different places within Oz.
Right.
So there, it they do what rabbits do best, as far as jokingly they do best. So that's a big part of the story. They multiply very, very rapidly. Yeah. So that's it. I think that's what sold Travis on the story. So yeah. So yeah. So he just offered like a character, and I took it like a couple of days to like find as much information as possible about Cthulhu and the Bunnies of Oz. There's not a lot about the Bunnies of Oz, but enough to pull some good stuff from. And
Right.
Cthulhu, I've never been super familiar with it. I just this past year listened to the audiobook of the Call of Cthulhu,
Mm-hmm.
and it was interesting. Like I think I still need to listen to more stuff involving him as a character. So so I didn't do a lot with it, like with his powers in general, just because it's, I know, especially with the four-page story, you're not going to do a lot.
Yeah.
But it was fun playing in that, writing something, and then I had a crack up just writing it.
Yeah. It sounds really fun, actually. And for the viewers, I did put like I said, the Kickstarter URL in the chat, so make sure to sign up for the link when it goes live. Do you happen to know, Luis, when there's a tentative launch date for when it goes live?
I asked Travis to confirm. He said should be March, but at the latest April.
At the latest April. Okay, that's great. So actually, you won't have to wait very long out there.
No.
And you kind of touched on this answer already, but how do you approach, writing a story within something like this versus your own creator-owned stories? How do you approach those differently?
I at least they were kind of the same actually, but the only difference is I choose what I'm researching.
Right.
So like with Cthulhu, I obviously had read listened to the book. I keep saying read, but it's audiobooks only. Don't have time to sit and read, but I can listen while I'm driving. So it was figuring out what the characters can do, what's already been established in the books. When I say the books, I mean the Oz books.
Right.
And then from there deciding what has been established in the existing universe of the Cthulhu Invades Oz. So I see what's been done or what they already do, and see if there's any way to amplify any parts of the what's already been done. So that's what, for at least working in a universe like that one. As far as mine, it was a lot of research went into the Aztec underworld and the Mayan underworld type stuff, like the gods and what they can and can't do, what they've done, which is surprising. Like there's not like as far as like like the Greek ones, Hercules and like there's heroes and the Odyssey, all that. There's like main heroes, but there's not a lot of that. There's only two that I can find that are like hero type characters in the Aztec world, the underworld, like the mythology. There's not like, it's mostly about the gods, not anything else.
Yeah.
So I wanted to kind of pull parts of that for this Eternal Coil. And so part of it was researching what is the established, how the underworld works, and then see if I condensed it down for my story, because in the traditional there's 9 levels and you have to go through each level, and each level is for different types of people or how they died. Mine is a little more mishmash where it's all one level, but there's different sections. And in the story, we only go through a couple sections because I don't want to do a 12-issue story. I want to keep it to, it should be a four issue series total. That's the plan right now, because I've already, like I said, one's done, 2 is being drawn, 3 I haven't written yet, but I already have the outline of where it's going. Like I said, I know the ending. Perfect. And in the end of everything should be roughly 100 pages, maybe 96 to 100, somewhere in that range, at least for story pages. Whatever happens after else, like covers and whatnot, will be a little more, but like story pages, roughly 100. That's the plan overall, because the first issue was 20, the second issue is 24, and the next one I'm projecting 24, and the last one either 28 or 32, depending on what I need.
Yeah, so that's 100 pages. Yep, love that. Yeah. And you touched on this other collaboration earlier too, but Snuffles has a kind of a very different tone, obviously, from Cthulhu. How did you and Sean Sunday connect on that one?
Well, I don't know what came first, like, because I started seeing that he would post that he's live and on Twitch. And so I would join his live stream and watch him draw stuff. He was working on his other book, Double Billing, which he put out last year. He was drawing it, and then we just talked, became friends. And then because one of the 2 stories is one is Snuffles, and then the other one is called Below the Waist in his Double Billing comic. So I said, oh yeah, if you ever want to work together, I don't know if he threw it out or I threw it out, but I was like, oh, if you want to work together. And then after his other story was done, he said, oh, you want to do this? And it was his Snuffles, but it was more like the origin story.
Okay.
Which I'm surprised he wanted me to draw it, but like, it's cool, because I mean, it's obviously his character.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I've been working on it since September, I want to say, or October. And I have a couple more pages to thumbnail out. But once I thumbnail the last couple of pages, which I hopefully will try to do this weekend, I'm going to get a meeting with Sean. We'll go over the script versus the thumbnails. Anything that just needs to be changed now, fix it now, and then start on pencils from there. So
there we go.
Yeah. So it's been really fun drawing the script, because I'd never have drawn too many animals, but I'm drawing lots of pugs.
Nice.
Yeah. So at this point in the story, Snuffles isn't like, he's kind of like, he changes into a sort of a man pug, and at this point he's still just a pug, like a baby pug. And some of the stuff that happens is kind of funny. So yeah, then the stuff you decide to draw is, and how you draw it, because one of the parts is there's like a fight that happens between one pug and not a beaver, it's like a
honey badger.
That's it. Sorry, thank you. Exactly that. Honey badger. And I decided to draw a couple of the panels as if it was like a Pokemon battle. So you got one from the behind, kind of the 3/4 view, then the other one from the front, the 3/4 view, kind of facing each other, and then a swipe here and there. So yeah, throwing it in. It's not super apparent, but like now that I said it, maybe people see it. Hopefully, yeah. So it's been fun drawing that one.
It does. It sounds really fun. Do you happen to know tentative when that one's supposed to come out?
Uh, it's all dependent on me. So,
That's fair.
because so once I get the thumbnails done, I all I have to do is the sun.
No worries.
Um, Pencil, like if I'm consistently drawing weekly, I can pencil for sure a page a week, pencil and ink maybe a week and a half per page. So it's a 20-page book. So in theory, by October as well, I should be done. So we probably won't launch if we do a Kickstarter. Won't be October because it'll overlap with my own, and I don't know if we want not Doug. Sean would want to do that or not. We'll see. We could do it at the same time. We could do a cross. Hey, if you do back both, blah blah blah.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so I mean, that's the tentative timeline for that. But it's all dependent on me because his story's done. He's written it. I just have to keep drawing.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Excuse me. Do you have any plans for convention appearances as a creator or a fan this year?
I have done. Well, it's already passed, but I did one in December. My first con ever as a creator. Went well. Didn't lose money, so that's good.
There you go. Yes.
But I will be attending for sure WonderCon in Anaheim.
Yes.
At the end of the March as a fan, and then also San Diego Comic-Con as a fan as well. So I will be at both. If anybody wants to come say hi, I will probably at least one of the days wearing this shirt.
Nice. I'm gonna have to get one of those.
Well, this one's one of one.
One of one.
Yeah, because what it is my I bought the shirt at I think Walmart or Target or something. It's one of like some not exercise, but it's like a really soft material.
Yes.
And then I had my sister who does vinyl printing and like you do it on cups, shirts, and whatnot. She gave her the design, she printed it out, put it on a shirt. And so yeah. So right now it's just one of one. So it wasn't too expensive to make. It's like $16 maybe because the shirt was like $8 because it's nice. A plain black shirt. They don't not too much. So yeah, but I've thought about doing like on like not Shopify, Printify. No, what's the other one?
Printtree or something like that.
Something like that. They have an option you could put on the shirts and have it people buy it. But I haven't done that yet because I don't think that the comic is there yet as far as like people recognizing it. So it's no point yet doing that extra work for just to sit and nobody seeing it.
Right. That's fair. Yeah. So, Luis, where can people find you online and follow along with what you're doing?
Most of the time it'll be Blue Sky, Luis Godoy II, Luis Godoyii. That's the same on pretty much every social media with the exception of Twitch. I don't stream on Twitch, but my username on there is different. It's Blue Sky, Instagram a lot, the Yeti Discord, Discord across a bunch of different ones, but the Yeti Discord, Comic Book Yeti. That's mostly where I am. The Yeti Discord or Blue Sky and Instagram.
Perfect.
I still have my Twitter, but I don't use it.
Yeah, I got rid of mine quite a while ago.
Yeah.
So my last question to close this out is a fun one, but an odd one. Do you happen to have a favorite snack or a meal as a go-to when you need to power yourself through?
When I'm not eating healthy, cereal.
Ooh, any particular cereals?
Probably my favorite is the cinnamon crunch, cinnamon toast crunch.
Oh, I love it. My son's obsessed with it, so it's always in our house.
the other one it's hard to find. It just is the French toast crunch. I don't know if you've had that one.
Yes, I haven't had that in years, but that stuff is delicious.
We find it every once in a while, like at a grocery outlet or something. But yeah, that's the one that is one of my two favorites. Perfect. But as far as eating healthy, which I'm doing right now, that's why I'm like, probably. We get these rice cake thingies that are 100 calorie, but they're good. They're really good. They don't you think rice cakes, but they taste bad, but they're actually pretty good.
Nice.
So that's it right now for eating snacks.
Perfect. Yeah. All right, Luis, thank you. Well, thank you for taking the time to coming on the channel today. I really appreciate it. I know everyone's really busy out there. Is there any last thoughts you'd like to share before we head out?
let's see, any thoughts? Just and if you want to see what I'm writing like weekly, check out Comic Book Yeti.
Mhm.
I have my weekly picks on there, and we huge, almost exclusive focus on independent comics. So indie comics is, or you'll very rarely see a pick that is a Big Two comic, but or any news about Big Two is always be something indie. That's like our not our guideline, but like our biggest. We focus on indie only for the like 99% of the time.
Yes, and that's why I originally came across Comic Book Yeti, because I was looking for indie comic recommendations. So it's a perfect place for that.
Yeah.
Again, thanks, Luis, for coming on the channel, and everybody out there, thank you for joining Comics for All today, where comics, creativity, and community all connect. And we'll see you next time. Take care.
See ya. Okay.
All right, all done.
Cool.